Good morning, good evening, and good night, my fellow scumbags, and welcome back to another episode of Tommy's Corner. Tomislav has been teasing a good amount of features coming to SCUM, and today I'll be going through those features. First up, Tomislav showed off some of the elements from the HUD. It seems like they have every single body part to look through, and I mean every single body part. And I have to say, I'm really liking the new look. Speaking of the medical system, we finally got some pictures of how the medical treatment UI would look as well. And I'm really liking this density of information for us. He then explains how a body does get damaged. Contrary to how we have it right now, players shouldn't die because of bullets, but should die because of wounds that bullets have inflicted. We should have a system where bullets create wounds by tearing up the flesh and bones, and these wounds reduce a victim's health gradually with time if they are left untreated. Wound progression, healing process explained. We call them diagnosis, stabilization, and healing. Each body condition has to go through these 3 steps to be successfully cured. Untreated. When an injury or illness occurs, it appears in this section. If the player is unable to identify it, it will be displayed as unknown, unidentified illness until the proper diagnosis is set. This applies to all types of body conditions. The only information that a user will get are the symptoms. The player can act upon these symptoms with drugs or seek help from medical personnel. By curing wounds and educating, reading medical books, tomes, players will be able to learn about body conditions, gain experience, and identify them better in the future. Once the condition is identified, a player can use in-game items to stabilize the progression of the wound. Stabilization. When injury occurs, it causes the damage to the body. In most cases, this damage is not instantaneous and progresses with time, so it's necessary to stabilize the condition as soon as possible. When successful stabilization has been achieved, the body stops receiving the damage from the wound and prepares for the recovery. During the stabilization phase, players should be careful with their wounds and limit their movement. Imagine trying to jog with a broken leg after being stabilized, which will result in a reset of the stabilization timer, and the leg will never start healing itself as long as you keep pushing it hard in the stabilization phase. Still, no matter what, once a successful stabilization has been achieved, wounds will not return back to the untreated section. The final part is the recovery process. All wounds which have successfully gone through the stabilization process move to the recovery section where actually recovery starts. It takes time for the wound to fully recover, and here is where you get your health points back. The body condition has been fully cured the moment when all health points have been retrieved. And this sounds like a really in-depth medical system that they are going for, and I can understand why it's taken so long for this to be released. But what I found interesting was you can seek help from medical personnel, which I believe is hinting at the new traders that will be coming to the game soon. I also thought it was cool that you can educate yourself by reading medical books and tomes. It kind of reminds me of Project Zomboid, where you can read different books to give you an experience boost to certain skills. And I'm wondering if they will bring this to other areas, like maybe you can read a couple books on how to fight with martial arts or something like that. Continuing on with medicine, Tomi also teased the Faktu Ointment, which is a cream for hemorrhoids. So all you prisoners better keep that ass tight when you're around me. We finally got a look at the long-awaited Revolver that will be coming to the game very soon. We also got a look at the new gun holsters that are coming into the game. The leather ones we have right now are cool, but these new holsters are looking pretty sleek, I must say. Are we getting dance emotes so I can stop hitting the Birdman when I'm in the club? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Tomi then teased these secret Tech 1 amp suits, and from the looks of it, it looks like a prisoner could put on these mechs like suits, but I'm not too sure how that would play out in the real game. Maybe this is a hint for a new boss that will be coming to the game? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Next up, we have a tease of some new characters that may be coming to SCUM. This looks like Gamepires has been messing around with the Metahuman creator, which is absolutely fantastic for creating new characters for the game. I made a Metahuman of myself, and I'm hoping that one day we will be able to mod our own characters into the game. But Tomislav said it is hard to tell, as the Metahumans are really heavy on performance. Speaking of waiting to see, we've all been waiting for NPCs and traders to make their way into SCUM. And remember me telling you guys earlier that we will be able to seek help from medical personnel? Well, it looks like we have Doc, who is 58 years old and has had an astonishing career in medicine. We also see another NPC named Atrax, and he manages to pull through something. And apparently another character named Jake is really close with him, and Atrax looks at Jake as a son. But since Atrax is antisocial, they don't meet a lot. If you guys don't know who Jake is the prisoner from the comics, so I wonder if he's going to be a friendly NPC to all of us, or maybe he'll be the exact opposite and be an NPC we have to look out for. but I'm really glad they are starting to go into the lore a little bit more. If you guys do want a video on the SCUM comics, like a comic type of movie with like sound effects, something like this.
Detecting visual display malfunction in BCU2 unit. Designation 150474. Reinitializing. Please stand by.
Let me know. But the main focus of this tweet was Jax. Jax is 48 years old, and without parents and surrounded by poverty, Jax has been raised by the streets. Till teen years, he already has seen everything bad that life can offer. Death, suffering, and misfortune have taken a toll on his life. No wonder he turned to use of drugs and upgrading his body with metal parts to make himself bigger and more intimidating to survive. He's one of the leading people in the Razor Blades gang. Next, we take a look at the new military POI that's coming to the island, and it's looking like it's gonna be a pretty big POI. I mean, there's a hill that goes up right over there, so there's probably more to explore. And since it's in a snowy area, I think it's going to be in the D0 sector because the old sectors already have a good amount of POIs. We also got an early look at the motorbikes that will be coming to the game, and it's looking pretty solid so far, but the animations can definitely be worked on for sure. And lastly, we are getting 2 more levels of protection for the base building walls. We are now getting the concrete walls and the brick walls. And I'm not sure what materials are needed for the concrete walls, but they did say that you could only get bricks from certain POIs. So you already know your boy's hitting the brick factory. But that wraps up this episode of Tomi's Corner. Thanks to everyone coming out. I hope you guys did learn something today. And if you did, hit that like button to support a piece of bread. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm Low Floored, and stay toasty out there.